どうもハギーです。ビヨンドリーチ続きをプレイしていきましょう。今回は永遠なる灰色の終わりという名前のクエストの続きになりますね。おそらくこれがメインのストーリーだと思うんですけどね、以前エバーモアでモーティフェイントの会合をしたっていう話の続きですね。動画にすると第8回の続きになるのかな。メイドス、戦騎士メイドスの子孫のレイドスさんという人を連れてくるっていう話になります。それでは行ってみましょう。顔が見えない。失礼、レイドス殿か。ハギーというものだ。アーニマからことづてを預かってきた。
Good day. Nice to see you people haven't been overrun by plague. The moment I hear you cough, though.
伺ったのは貴殿の祖父、メイドス関連の用事でだ。その彼の鎧についてだが。
Oh, by the eight, not again. Will my children be expected to become fabled heroes too?
つまり以前にも同じような話を持ち出されたことがあるってわけか。当然だな。
A dozen times at least. And my father before me. Each time someone's horse is stolen or some exile's mugger merchant.
まあメイドス本人でもそんなことには気は
Tell me about it. They claim to respect him, yet they put him on display in death. Deny the old man burial for years. You seem alright. And I do hate to make you a bearer of bad news. Let me fetch you some wine for your trouble.
いや、レイドス、一緒に来てくれ。ウィッチマンについて耳にしていないか。
Who hasn't? Why?
奴らは完全に正気を失っている。非常に奇妙な、そして邪悪な魔術の影響下にあるようだ。しかもアーニマに向け進軍する準備をしている。
Dark magic? That actually sounds worthy of Mados. You know what? You're right. Last thing I want is to go down in history as Rados, twice as tall and twice as yellow as any. I'm in, friend. Lead the way.
2倍黄色い肌ってどういうことだよな。こんな事件が起こる前のリーチはどんな感じだったんだ。つまりウィッチマンやオークが現れる前のリーチということだが、下はレイブンスプリングは昔どんな場所だったんだ。上でいいか。
That's simple. There was no Reach before that. The Reach is and always has been its people, and the Reachmen haven't had a calm night in centuries. Orcs, Witchmen, Nords, Bretons, and it's not like the Bretons themselves get along.
内戦はスカイリムのお家芸でこちらには無縁の話だと思っていた。
You wish. There's a bleeding mess of a kingdom next to ours called Wayrest, and some 14 years ago we went to war with it. King Uta, also called the Owl.
二つ名の由来は賢明だからか。
Nay, his cheeks. Well, Uta had some beautiful daughters, you see, each one from a different queen, and King Sigmund was quite fond of one of them. Something Uta wasn't too fond of himself. In the span of 2 weeks, more than 1,000 men were dead on both sides. Such was the war over a princess's canny.
まあ美人をめぐってというのはありがちな話ではある。
Not when she's 9 years of age.
おーっとロリコンか。それは。
Damn near cost his majesty his head. During one of his visits, Uta had Sigmund taken prisoner, and his retainers banished from the kingdom.
戦の前触れとしては十分だな。で、陛下は逃げられたのか？
Aye, some weeks later. Small wonder he wanted to see Wayrest go up in flames after such humiliation. I was levied 3 days after, and a week later, the army was well on the move towards Wayrest. Must have looked weird back in Evermore. Couldn't do it before, so many of his own men were slaughtered, it seems. Funny thing is, I've always hoped to visit the city of Wayrest as a child. Now I'm partly to blame that I never will.
戦争自体について話してくれ。戦いになった2週間の間のことを。
Nasty is the word that comes to mind. We were outnumbering them 6 to 1, but the skirmishes were so fierce. Our Venturiers had set the countryside ablaze with their spells. Those were windy months. So by the time my unit had reached the city of Wayrest, the smoke was everywhere. And let me tell you, war is hard enough even when you can breathe.
確かに厳しそうだな。降伏した後ウェイレストはどうなった？シグメイン陛下はどうやって脱出できたんだ？こっち。
That's no wonder. He was broken up by the hand-picked squad of scouts. They crossed the border wearing burlap robes and posing for pilgrims. One of them, a devout priest of Mara running an orphanage, paid some guards off to see the molested king and spit in his face. Made quite a scene, you can imagine. He also passed Sigmane a scroll of recall with a mark already placed in the woods nearby. Not a single drop of blood shed.
どうしてそんな詳細まで知っているんだ？
Well, it wasn't me who told you this, but a certain scout commander from Arnema kind of came up with the whole plan.
ジャッコスが情報源というわけか。
Wasn't me who told you, friend.
アーニマでもかなり顔が売れていたみたいじゃないか。こんな場所ならコネが多いのは結構な大物ってことになるんじゃないか。
Well, I wasn't planning on leaving my friends, you know. I was leaving the town Ravenspring had become.
お、話が戻った。レイブンスプリングは昔どんな場所だったんだ？
Oh, none too unusual. There was even a joke that that's what you call a temple, a sewer and a wall brought together. However, there was a real sense of community. We were proud like the Reachmen should be. We're older than the three empires combined. Most of the world doesn't know we exist, and the Bretons want to believe we don't. Back then, Mortarvane seemed like the finest lord the place had ever seen. Strict but fair, blunt but honest, a terrific swordsman on top of that.
モーティフェイン強いんや。まるで別々の都市についての話を聞いているみたいだ。
Well, the siege of Ravenspring had changed it all. Those 2 months broke some in ways healers could do nothing about. The heroes dead. The doom of Grey Bellman. The bodies mounted on their pikes. My father couldn't handle Mados's demise. Took to the bottle, and in the following years there wasn't much left of him. And Mortarvane had lost his wife. That alone had made a man once called Maid of Iron fearful for his life, secretive, cruel. And soon he had the bodies and the pikes make a return. This new Mortarvane could have been Maid of Iron, all right. So many he had put to death with it.
つまりそこで彼は狂人となったわけか。どうして誰も彼に対して立ち上がらなかった？
Anyone could be accused of treason and put to death, neither painless nor swift. So the people were afraid of gathering or even talking too loud. We felt like we were living on borrowed time. No one dared speak up against the Lord, but by that time he was so severely paranoid he needed an excuse rather than a reason. And all of it under the watchful dead eye of old Mados, hoisted like a deer carcass. It was sickening. So I left. Simple as that. Some would say I should have tried to be the big damn hero. Jackers had a plan already, no doubt, but it's the soul of the town that was gone, and bringing that back is no task for a blade. And that's the end of my story so far.
大した話じゃないか。
As always to you foreigners.
こいつ結構重要人物っぽいな。あれ？こっちのもう一個の選択肢かな。
Months. So by the time my unit had reached the city of Wayrest, nothing good. The trade had stopped, the crime ran rampant, and in the following years not a corner remained in the entire realm that wasn't raided and sacked. Today one of the base's largest cities is not even worth conquering anymore, and half our military has to guard the border against those who blame Evermore.
あ、これで終わり？
That's no. One of them. He also passed Sigmane a scroll of... Well, wasn't me who told you. Well, I wasn't planning on leaving my friends, you know. I was leaving the town Ravenspring had
こ
become.
れで終わりなの？あ、もう帰ったらええんや。レイドスに対しアニマが置かれた窮状に助けの手を差し伸べるよう説得することができた。急いで司祭の元に戻ろう。じゃあ戻りましょう。
We meet again. How fare you?
あ、お前そんな名前やったんや。 求め通り彼を連れて戻ってきました。
You've succeeded where many of those who came before had failed. I was right in sending you. Must have made a strong argument for a man to leave the safety of the West for the chaos here.
安息を捨て冒険を求めさせると
Just like Mados then. It may be that we rekindle the fighting spirit here, make us strong again. And who better to lead the way than you two heroes?
最善最善を尽くしましょう。
I truly admire such zeal in the face of uncertainty. Envy it even. Now if only I worshipped the more violent gods. Ha! Now I shouldn't blaspheme just before your quest north. You'll need all the divine's fortune, and all the courage us mortals can summon in these dark hours.
おうこれで終わり。お、恐怖の到来。なんかいろいろあるね。聖堂の外に吊るされているものはどんな角で処刑を
Take a guess.
領主様を困らせたとか
Treason. So yes, they upset the Lord. Though that doesn't take much these days.
モーティフェインが疑い深くなったのには理由があったのですか
As with everyone Mortifane accuses in his ravenous, paranoid streaks, that are becoming exponentially more common. The guard was seen speaking to one of the beggars, with the other two seen mingling close by. That was reason enough to raise suspicion, and thus they were all hanged almost an hour after they were accused.
どうして領主を追放しないのです
If only it were that easy. You must realize that it's not only him we have to worry about, but the guard. They're almost as intolerant as our strict but fair lord. It doesn't help that they feel their actions justified from dangers beyond the walls. It's become such a vicious cycle that I can't fathom this ending well.
モーティフェインが力の支配が弱まっていることを悟ったとすれば
Keep quiet about the grievances you may have. It will do us no good if any more decent people find themselves victim to his tyranny.
ベルモア要塞にかけられた呪いはこの町にも脅威となっているのですか
As apparent as the danger may appear, the omens who've made that cursed land their home haven't strayed a feet from their dark domicile. Seems those souls are still trapped in that terrible siege 30 years ago. Even the scholars from Daggerfall were awestruck at the phenomenon, assuring us that these dead are confined upon the packed dirt from whence they fell.
呪いを解こうとする者は誰もいなかったのですか
If it was so easy, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Whatever solution that could alleviate this scourge vanished with the shamans who performed the ritual.
呪術師を見つけ呪いについて口を割らせればよいのでは
Talking like a true native, those guards had done exactly that when the siege was lifted. Suffice to say, nothing was achieved except dozens of flayed shamans draping our walls. Just reminiscing on that sight can make one's stomach churn.
で、次はレイドスと話す。レイドス、あれついてきてない。どこ行ったんや、あいつ。あ、こんなとこいたわ。お前何してんねん。寄り道すんじゃねえよ。
Yeah.
武器の扱いはわかるか、ウィッチマンどもとやり合うんだが。
I served in the Evermore Pikeman militia and helped with the occupation of Wayrest. So I know how to face down a foe at the least.
よし、君も鎧を着た方がいい。我々は真正面から彼らに立ち向かう。ダイレクトって書いてるな。心配しなくても彼らに気づかれないように裏をかくことができる。ステルス。一緒に谷を登っていこう。移行なしってなんだどうしようかな。一緒に谷を登っていこうか。
Why so sudden? But I agree. The sooner we can deal with this burden, the better.
攻め込む方法がいくつかあるんやな。
On your way.
カーリー・フォーナー。あ、こいつらか。
何が必要だ？
まあいいや。次ほんなら、こいつを待つの。お、アバターのアドベントに入る。アバターのアドベント。アバターのアドベントってどういう意味 おおえらい強そうやんけ。
Be on your way.
特に話が増えるわけじゃない
Alright
か。
then.
アバターのアドベントって土地の名前か。ここから行きゃいいかな。
Gotta do better than that.
Worm will
なんかおらん。なんかおるな。なんかでかいのおるぞ。何やあれ。サイクロプスっぽいのがおる。
No way!
敵多いな。
Yeah!
これで、あ、だいぶ減った。いって。
You sure you wanna fight?
危ね。ゴーレム。おお。自然回復はないやなこれ。あ、いた。
How did that go over?
ああ、倒した。強い。あいつおらんやんけ。まあ、ええやろ。こっちこれか。
Check it out.
チェケラー。化身の降り立つ土地。ここか。守護者を殺す。
I can fight too, you know.
あ、
time to
アバ
taste
ター
the
で化
metal.
身でアドベント氷やから化身の降り立つ地ってことか。なるほどね。
Trust me, I'm focused.
Sneaky little brick.
あ、おお、危ねえ。
Come in, brick.
Freed from their mortal shackle.
おお、先行くな。勇猛やな。
Ugly.
ちょっと装備変えよう。
Draw.
Okay, now I'm mad.
あ、凝ってる。
I interpret the unending
なんや。鳥なんか仕掛けあんの。ああ、はいはいはい。鳥ヘビ魚ね。
Bet you regret this now, don't you?
ここ魚やな。
Time to taste metal.
あ、
The flesh is weak.
ここになんかおんの。なんかおるな。ヘビ鳥これで OK。 あ、いた。あ、落ちた。おっと、危ね。危ね。ここが目的地っぽいけど。
Hey, you ready?
Come on now, don't be shy.
守護者
Back down.
さあ、じゃあこっちか。天空の守護者。何これ。
Come in, prick.
おお、なんや、肝。
Time to taste metal.
守護者弱。
You're Give you that one.
え、なんか増えた。
Give you that one. Bet you regret this now, don't you?
Right, my turn.
おお。 墓から脱出する。あ、なんか持ってる。血の呪い。これ一応ハグレイブンだよ。でこれは何なの？調べる。またウィッチマンの偶像だ。歪んだ心が生んだ歪んだ像。人間型に見えなくもない造形は何かをかたどっているようだが、実際何を意味しているのかはウィッチマンしか分かる者がいないだろう。何なんだろう。やばい黒魔術っぽいな。わわわわわ。なんかある。白ディールの吸血鬼のセンセーション。神聖なる亡霊が死体の上に姿を現した。混乱して状況を受け入れられていない。この広大な廃墟は敵意に満ちていて、この番人もその中の一つに過ぎない。ここまでたどり着いたのは最近だろうが、どうやってわからない。ウィッチマンに見つかったことは確かだ。この愚かな戦士を見舞った運命の結末は今詳細を目にしている通りである。今のはこれか。ラマエとかなんか吸血鬼関連の話か。おお、なんか続くのかな。おお、脱出しましたね。おい、びっくりしたここで戦う。
I guess this is goodbye, huh?
あ、戦い。
I'll piss on your corpse.
あ、これ出るね。
Daughter
あ、
of
やっとやっ
this.
と。足ね。
Sorry, but we're in a rush.
Am I seeing ghosts?
心配はいらない。こちらもみんなと同じく血を流している。
And you share our black humor, mortal down to the very bone. All right, we're gonna have to clear up here. See to it that these dogs don't return with yet another dark ritual.
それ以外に何か手を打つのか。
Contacted our friends in Evermore. They're gonna send these Stasi down to clean house. If you want a primer on who these criminals turned militia are, then we'll have to speak later. For now, make sure we haven't got some foul straggler lying in wait for their arrival.
No better place than a giant hole to take a leak.
It's fine. I'm okay.
おお、なんじゃ。ドラゴン型なんか。ゴーン弱
Finish
く
him
ない？
off. Let us crush swords.
え、何々？
How's this?
外してるし。
Beg for mercy.
あ、でも結構強い。
Trust me, I'm
倒した
focused.
おお。気持ち悪い。ジャコスと話す。
Get to the point.
あれは一体。
I thought the priest was being dramatic. Portents of doom are all that strips from his lips at the smallest inner trouble. But now I see there's some truth to his words. Told me to expect some type of demon up here. Never knew it'd take the form of this winged bastard. And now that confirms an even more sinister rumor.
遭遇することになる敵の正体についてどうして教えてくれなかった？
Didn't want you to botch the job. Mercenaries tend to underperform when they know that a bounty spells certain death.
噂について教えてくれ。
That rumor had to do with our lord, Mortiphane. It's possible dealings with that foul goddess who summoned this creature, Namira.
おっと、ナミラ。あ、そうか、食人カニバリズムってそうやな。
Just told me to look out for anything particularly strange, and well, we saw exactly that.
ナミラ絡んでんのか。司祭様から詳しい話を聞くために町に戻った方がいいだろうか。
Really putting your life on the line for us, eh? You have my gratitude. If you do exchange words with him, then make sure not to shout. Many of those within the walls are still tragically loyal to that madman. And not only there, but right here. So we'll have to halt this fatal talk if we want to keep our heads. We'll be returning soon once that lowland Astasi detachment arrives. Stay safe.
待ち受ける惨事。次は司祭と話すと。ユースタスとは何者だ？
Better to avoid asking them directly. Actually, I would advise you not to engage with these types at all, or you may land yourself in very hot water.
どうしてだ？こちらのような人間に奴らは何か含むところでもあるのか？
They're very off. Most are drawn from the more unsavory ranks of our conscripts, with a popular and probably true rumour that half of them are pulled from the exiles. You may know the kingdom is having problems with corruption and bad seeds already. Well, that pales to what these people are capable of. If I were to opine, I'd say they were made from the witchmen rather than any half-sane reachmen we have near the walls.
揉め事を起こす気はない。
You won't, but they certainly could. Just best to leave them to their business. It's almost always a very dirty affair that will make any witness despair. Trust me, I know. Certain things a civilized man should never do, yet they frequently transgress on that standard. When you think you've seen the worst, they'll surprise you the next morning with some new sickening spectacle.
なぜ王国はそんな奴らを召し抱えている？
Because they get the job done. Though sometimes it's better to draw these things out when you consider what a fast job like theirs entails. The kingdom has come to prominence in High Rock in short time. Don't think that was done with clean hands. There's rarely clean hands when it comes to getting rich fast.
なるほど。
Stay alert.
次はこれね。倒したばかりの強力なデイドラについて司祭と話をし、状況の話を行う必要がある。というわけで次は司祭に会いに行くと。いやしかし、勤明な